Tomorrow, the 6th of November, the people of Anambra will go to the polls to elect a new leader that will steer the affairs of the state for the next 4 years. 18 political parties are participating in this election, and according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, there are 2.5 million registered voters. We will link up with our Oka studio where Femi Akande will be speaking to Strategy Committee member Vote Not Fight, Queen Chikwendu. Femi, it's over to you.
Yes, well, Veronica, the clock is ticking to the most anticipated off-season election in Nigeria's democratic history. Well, there's so much talk about this election because of the tension, the threats, and so many things happening in the build-up to this election. But you know, all of that we have here Queen Chikwendu to help us put some of that into perspective. Queen Chikwendu is a strategy committee member of Vote Not Fight, an Electoral Reform Advocacy Group. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we saw the signing of a peace pact yesterday between political parties and other stakeholders. How significant is that in ensuring that elections or the vote tomorrow is peaceful?
Okay, I would like to borrow the word of the one of the members of that National Peace Committee. During his remark in that program yesterday, he said what we are doing here is not a mere exercise. It's a clarion call for all stakeholders to come together to promote peaceful election in Anambra State. So, buttressing that, that exercise that was done yesterday is really key because supporters, politicians and their supporters, they all came together. They saw when their candidates were appending their signature to that part, that they will promote peaceful election. So it's really, really important. It wasn't just a mere exercise. And it will also help to build confidence in the electoral process in the people.
Yeah. But you know, some people have said that for some politicians, some people see it as just appending their signature, that it's not really binding. We still go into the election. Sometimes we still see issues of violence, politicians and political parties not acting according to the way they should, or conducting themselves in the manner that they should to promote a peaceful election. But nobody holds them responsible for that, despite putting their signature on that, that peace pact form. Okay,
for us from the civil society space, that we hold them accountable, because we were there yesterday to witness that ceremony, and if by any chance we go to the field tomorrow and there's evidence that a particular candidate sponsored or perpetrated any form of electoral violence tomorrow, definitely we are going to hold him accountable. Then to also add that my organization, Catch Them Young Community Initiative, after the signing that was done inside, we also had engaged them outside, which was done by young people. Like, this was young people coming together. Yes, we are saying we can't be used as a tool. So it's a two-way thing that happened yesterday. It's not just a mere ceremony. So we from the civil society space, we are going to hold them accountable.
Okay, what's the temperature like in the polity of the state now? Would you say that that atmosphere, the state now has that atmosphere that would foster a peaceful conduct of an election tomorrow?
Okay, since we started the engagement, sensitization, mobilization, from voter registration and all of that, security has always been a great concern. And we've also been able to engage the relevant stakeholders in the security sector. I know that we had an advocacy meeting to the Commissioner of CP here. We also went to the Civil Defense Corps. So all these meetings, we also had we had them on our radio, Vote Not Fight, our radio programs we were having. So they were able to assure people that there will be enough security and that voters will be protected. So, and from what we've seen so far, we've seen a heavy presence of security officials here in the state. So we are hopeful.
But won't that scare the people?
yes, there are fears that it might be like scare people, but at the same time, we need this security, because like considering the atmosphere here. So it's just for our people to cooperate. Let's do our best while we watch out.
Okay, let's talk about the Electoral Commission now, INEC. How would you say they have improved over time, and how is this Anambra State election, preparation for this Anambra State election, an improvement from previous elections the Commission has conducted?
Okay, I would first of all applaud them for the beavers, that is bimodal verification.
Verification
so I would applaud them for that. Hopefully we will not have, we are expecting not to have electoral fraud as per rigging, because that system must identify your thumb, your fingerprint, or your hair. So we are hoping to see a reduced this thing in electoral fraud this year. Then I also want to fault them, though, that I know some persons have not been able to get their PVCs.
Yeah, over 76,000.
Yes, that's a really that's a really issue, and that collection ended yesterday. So they have ended up disenfranchising some people.
But another reason why a lot of those people were not able to get, it's also because of the security situation, security concerns. INEC was also concerned about the safety of its personnel.
I know. First, they started distributing very late. That is first. They started distributing very late. And we know, like, the feedback we got from people, because we were monitoring this, the feedback we got from people were like, that they were slow. Some persons, they sent messages, text messages, emails to, when you go there, they will tell you to come back the next day, and you know, the back and forth process. So it didn't really help. I know that everybody is concerned about the insecurity, but they should have like been more proactive in distributing those PVCs.
What's the level of awareness among the voters? Are people interested? Do they want to participate in this process?
Yes, I would say people are interested. I would say that because civil society organizations here in Anambra State, we really did our best, starting from the registering for the PVCs, the sensitization that has been going on all this while, because all these things we are targeted at increasing the voters, the number of voters, because Anambra State has this peculiar characteristics of having voter apathy in her elections. So we all worked hard. The civil society organizations here, both our like funders also, they really helped. We all worked hard to help in increasing voters in this forthcoming election. So I would say that people are interested, but as usual, we have the constraints. So which is the insecurity atmosphere in the state. Then the IPOB sit at home that was brought up. But fortunately, last night we now saw a circular that it has been,
Yes, talking about engagement in increasing people's awareness and making them interested in the protest. What was the strategy like? When you went out, what were you telling the people?
Okay, for us at Catch Them Young Community Initiative, we used the model Vote Not Fight campaign. We started in 2014, so we've been using it, and we are being funded by ND and USAID. So for what we did, we have volunteers. After the organization structure for the Vote Not Fight campaign, we have volunteers. We have the senatorial representatives. We have at the local government level. We have at the ward level across all the wards. So we are taking this message to the nooks and crannies of Anambra State. So we've had several town hall meetings too. We've had Anambra Central, Anambra North, Anambra South. So we had town hall meetings with young people. Then when the brand ambassador of Vote Not Fight came last 3 weeks, that's Tubaba, he also had an engagement with young people in the state. Then we run 3 times in a week, we run our radio programs where people call in ask their questions, and we bring stakeholders to these programs for them to talk to these people. So we've been able to achieve great success with the campaign.
Yes, there's this peculiar situation now in Anambra State. A lot of political parties were not able to campaign because of the security situation. And now people are coming out to vote. A lot of these voters are not familiar with the manifestos, programs, plans of these political parties. And then the question is, how would they make their choice?
It's an issue there, yes. It's an issue because one of the things we were promoting with Vote Not Fight campaign was having an issue-based campaign, and we were able to do the best we can do, but due to the political security constraints here, I know that political parties, all these candidates, they were not able to do like strong campaigns here. Then another thing we have to consider is that Anambra State has this unique feature of voting political parties, oftentimes not really candidates. So is
that a problem?
Yes, it's a problem because we were trying to, one of the things we were doing through this issue-based campaign is to shift people's mind, shift people's perspective from the political ideology to focusing on what these candidates have to offer.
And how well would you say that was accepted by the people? Because you said that it has been like a culture among them to vote for political parties. How well was this accepted? Were you able to?
Yes, we had, during one of our programs, we had people that raised the issue. We did our own part. What I would say is that the candidates were not able to present their manifesto properly to the people, because I know that it's only ABGA did their rally here. I know ABGA did, then PDP did their own rally a few days ago. So other political parties, I'm not so sure that they had that they had their manifesto presentation too. Okay, even during the debate too, I would also say they were able to, like, despite the differences, they were able to market themselves to the people. So let's just hope for.
Let's talk about inclusion now in the whole electoral system. How well has INEC been able to carry everyone along, people with disabilities and even others with special needs, to ensure that they are all involved in the political process and none of them is in any way disenfranchised? Okay,
I'm aware of, I think I'm aware of, I'm aware of it, some changes in this election of INEC, a policy where people with disabilities, people with special needs, they should be given the opportunity to cast their votes first when they arrive at the polling unit. I'm aware of that. Then I'm also aware of like a magnifying glass. Then other things INEC provided for these people this time.
Another concern is security agencies. People are worried about how they might conduct themselves during the whole voting process, because we know that the tension is high now. Yes, we have seen them on ground in full force, trying to ensure that people of Anambra State know that their safety will be guaranteed when they come out to vote. But beyond guaranteeing their safety, people are also concerned about their conduct.
Yes, in all these our engagements, we've been raising these concerns as well. Even with, during the stakeholders meeting we had with the INEC chairman 2 days ago, we also raised this concern that they should talk to their officers to work with people, to cooperate with people at the polling units. So I would say we left no stone unturned, and we can only be hopeful.
Looking at the demography now of voters in Anambra State, how involved are the youths? How well did they come out to register to vote?
Okay, yeah, I'm aware that young people, yes, young people registered to get their PVCs. I'm sure of that, because during the registration point, during the registration process, I worked with Yaga Africa then on the Power of 18. So what that project was all about was mobilizing young people, engaging and mobilizing young people to go register for their PVCs. So we know that Yaga supported some young persons in different communities here in Anambra State, and they sponsored them with funding to mobilize their peers to go. So we achieved great results from that project. So I am very sure that young people register to get their PVC. But the challenge we are having is collecting the PVC.
Well, that still remains a serious challenge. Now, safety before the election, that security before the election, during the election, and after the election. Now we have seen a sense of security before the election. We are now expecting during the election and after the election, but that post-election, it's a very critical period. What's the conversation like to ensure that safety or security in the post-election period is guaranteed?
Okay. In all these our conversations with these stakeholders in the security sector here, we've always raised this issue of removing the election. What are the measures that you are putting in place in tackling the menace of insecurity here in the state, here in Southeast? So let's just remove the election. You are all preparing for the election. What now happens after the election? All these troops are withdrawn. What now happens to the people? So they also assured us that they are up on their game and they know what they are doing to ensure security henceforth.
Okay, without making reference to maybe any political party, because of course campaigns have officially ended, how would you say political parties were able to articulate their plans, policies, and programs, and how issue-based were their campaigns, or was it just noisy quarrels between candidates?
Okay. Okay. I wouldn't want to comment on that. I would say rather that for us as an organization, we drew up a youth agenda. We drew up a youth agenda because we had engagements with all these candidates at Catch Them Young Community Initiative. We had engagements with them where they gave us their commitment to having a peaceful election. So we drew up a youth agenda, which we submitted to all of them, that these are concerns of young people of the state, so that they can take this into consideration, eventually, even if one of them emerges tomorrow, so that they can take that into consideration. So I don't really want to comment on whether they are campaign or no. I wouldn't want to say something.
The fingers across. The stakes are also really high, and well, we look forward to November the 6th, which is Saturday, as registered voters in Anambra will go to the ballot to cast their votes. Over to you, Veronica.
Akande, for that insightful interview with